Good evening. Welcome to the YouTube channel, How to Get an 800 Credit Score LLC. We're back again with another video. We'll be doing daily stimulus check updates, daily stimulus package updates, to also as well keeping you informed of what's going on in Congress, the White House, with our stimulus checks. When we're going to get our stimulus checks, what's being proposed right now too also as well. And happy 4th of July. I definitely want to let you guys know. I hope that you enjoyed the holiday and that you are staying safe, and wish you the best for the July 4th holiday. Today we're going to be talking about something that we may be able to expect coming in the next stimulus package that may be included with our next stimulus check. Yes, Donald Trump has mentioned that he wanted the next stimulus check that comes to us to be larger than the last stimulus check that was proposed through the House of Representatives back in May 15th from the HEROES Act. And as if you guys have been following my videos, you know that the HEROES Act proposes a one-time $1,200 check, a stimulus check. So my opinion, if Trump wants it to be larger than that $1,200 check, then it could be we could be looking at a $2,000 check, which would be good. Who knows? It could be more. Okay. But we never know until we get more information too also as well. But we do know there has been many proposals for the next stimulus check, including $2,000 a month stimulus checks, recurring, sort of like a universal basic income type of deal that was proposed through the House of Representatives. If you missed that video, check that video out here on the channel. Too is called the Emergency Money for the People Act. And also another bill that proposes $2,000 a month coming from Senators Bernie Sanders, Ed Markey, and Kamala Harris too also as well. That also proposes another $2,000 a month recurring check. Other proposals of recurring checks like $1,000 a month from the ABC Act. We also have a video on that here on this channel too also as well. There's many proposals. Okay, I'm not going to talk about all of the proposals right now. All I'm talking about today is the one back to work bonus 2020. So if you haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications. That way you never miss a single video as we make them here on this channel. So let's get it started. So one thing I want to start off with talking about the back to work bonus 2020 is it is a alternative or maybe even a supplement to the $600 a week in unemployment insurance that people who are unemployed are currently receiving now because of the passage of the CARES Act back in March. So one particular thing that's going on right now is coming through the state of Idaho. And surprisingly, this right here is going to pay people to go back to work. So it is sort of an incentive for people to get back to work. And that is a good thing also as well. Okay, this article is coming from CNN Politics on CNN.com. It has a video, but I'm not going to play the video because I've been having some issues with my audio. So I'll just go through the article, and which summarizes what was said. And this was an interview on CNN.com where the CNN reporter had interviewed Larry Kudlow, economic advisor to the White House. And it says here that Idaho will pay jobless residents $1,500 to lure them back to work and off federally enhanced unemployment benefits. Now, the enhanced unemployment benefits, of course, they're talking about that extra $600 a week plus up. Okay, now that's set to expire on July 31st, but technically it will expire either July 25th or July 26th when they end their final week. You know, that's their last week of their payday period, payroll period, or whatever you want to call it. The efforts mirrors a proposal being floated by Republicans on Capitol Hill, who must soon decide whether to continue supporting millions of Americans who lost their jobs due to the coronavirus pandemic shutdowns. Several GOP lawmakers favor return to work bonuses, such as the one being implemented by Idaho's Republican Governor Brad Little, while congressional Democrats generally want to extend the $600 weekly bonus to benefits passed by Congress in March as part of the $2 trillion coronavirus, the relief package. So basically, the House of Representatives had already passed the HEROES Act back on May 15th, which extends the $600 unemployment benefits. And a lot of the Republicans in Congress are against extending it. Okay. The White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow told CNN's Jake Tapper Sunday that the $600 payment, which is on top of state benefits, will expire in late July as scheduled. So now this article came out on June 15th, but I thought I would put it here in this topic because it's very important to what we're talking about. We want people to get back to work, he said. The president is looking at a reform measure that will still provide some kind of bonus for returning to work. And if you watch the previous video that we made where we talked about what Donald Trump had said about the next stimulus check being larger, he also mentioned in that interview on Fox Business that he did not want to see the disincentive for people to go back to work continuing. He wanted people to go back to work and not people to want to stay on unemployment so that they can receive that extra $600 a week bonus. At issue is the fact that a majority of jobless Americans are now making more on unemployment than they did at work, which is true. Lots of people are making more money on unemployment. Some employers, companies, businesses are complaining that it's hard to get their workers to come back to work because they're making more money on unemployment. Okay. And most unemployed Americans will lose their jobless benefits, including the federal boost, that extra $600, if they turn down offers to go back to work. That's just part of basically the rules of being on unemployment. If you turn down work, if you're not consistently looking for work, they will remove you off of unemployment. Okay. Only those who meet certain criteria for the unemployment assistance program that Congress created in March will remain eligible. They include people who were advised by a health provider to self-quarantine. General concern about exposure to the sickness is typically not a sufficient reason to remain unemployed and continue collecting benefits. In Idaho, residents will receive a one-time $1,500 cash payment to resume full-time jobs and $750 for part-time positions. So if you live in the state of Idaho, you will receive a one-time $1,500 cash payment for you to return back to work, sort of a return to work bonus for 2020. And if you're working part-time, if your job was part-time, you'll get a $750 bonus for you to return back to work. Those who lost their jobs starting March 1st and return to work between May 1st and July 1st are eligible, said Alex Adams, the state's Division of Financial Management Administrator. The state is directing $100 million from the $1.25 billion it received in federal relief funds to the effort, though some money originally aimed at supporting small businesses may also be available. The bonuses will be distributed at a first-come, first-served bonus expected to cover about 70,000 Idahoans. So if you haven't already applied for this and you live in the state of Idaho, you need to apply for it right away, okay? Because like they said here, is on a first come, first serve basis. So they're going to cover about 70,000 people. So you want to be in line in that first 70,000 people so that you don't miss out. Nearly 150,000 Idaho workers filed for first-time unemployment benefits in the 12 weeks since the pandemic state of emergency was declared in mid-March. The state's unemployment rate jumped to 11.5% in April, up from 2.5% the month before. The payment is designed to push people to get jobs quickly, said Little, who touted the state's fiscally conservative values. We're putting this out as bait to get the economy going, he said at a recent press conference. So now I believe that's a good thing that they're doing, a back to work bonus 2020. Hey, it's a good idea, give people money as an incentive to go back to work. Because right now, a lot of people are saying, hey, I'm making more money just staying at home on unemployment. I'm getting, if you live in New York, you're getting $500 a week, and New York State unemployment, plus you're getting $600 a week from, the pandemic relief unemployment. You're getting $1,100 a week. So if you're getting $4,400 a month just sitting at home on unemployment, then why go back to work, right? Well, back to work bonuses are a good idea, for sure. And we know that many people support this, including the White House, too, also as well. Actually, a few weeks ago, the White House was considering a $450 weekly back to work bonus. And a lot of you have heard about that, probably on the news also as well, because this was something that was being talked about a lot, very frequently. Also as well. And now a lot of proposals have come about besides the $450 a week return to work bonus too also. But it is definitely one of the proposals that have been are being and have been also considered. Well, let's get into a little bit, because I know we haven't talked much about this $450 a week back to work bonus that's being proposed here. As we can see here, here's his article from Forbes. I'm going to try not to go through the entire article. It talks about the HEROES Act when it, proposes a continuation or extending the unemployment benefit, the extra $600 a week, that is. And this was what a lot of the Republicans are against. They don't want to extend it. It says here, in the meantime, the White House and other groups are continuing to explore other options. One such proposal by Senator Rob Portman, a Republican from Ohio, would include paying a $450 weekly bonus to unemployed workers who return to work. This weekly bonus will be paid for a limited time and will be paid in addition to the workers' wages. So that can be a good thing. I'm all for back to work bonuses. Am I for taking people off of the extra $600 a week unemployment bonus? No, I'm not for that. I don't believe they should cut them people off of unemployment cold turkey, because it can destroy their lifestyles. And it will also hurt the economy also as well, because a lot of these people, they simply don't have any jobs to return back to. In an interview with Fox News, Senator Portman indicated the $600 weekly unemployment bonus is a disincentive for unemployed workers to return to work, because many of them currently earn more while unemployed than when they're working. Other proposals to get people back to work, Larry Kudlow and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin expressed doubt that the $600 unemployment benefit will be extended, primarily because it's seen as an emergency measure that works as a disincentive to return to work. The back to work bonus is just one solution policymakers and lawmakers are considering. Other options include increased stimulus spending, a payroll tax holiday, and possibly a tax credit for skills training. Now, when they say here that $600 unemployment benefit was an emergency measure, as they say here in this article. Yes, that's true. It was an emergency measure. The country was getting shut down pretty much back in March and April. Okay, many states were getting shut down. The majority of states were getting shut down. Okay, and that includes businesses. So they needed to put money into the pockets of Americans somehow. Okay, so that way they're able to continue to put food on the table for their families, to pay their rent, their mortgages, to have a roof over their family's head and continue to survive and prevent homelessness and further people going into poverty. Okay, so that was an emergency measure. Yes, I agree. Now we're kind of seeing an emergency measure all over again, with more than half of the states actually reversing their reopening. Okay, a lot of states are closing down a lot of their parts of the states, like restaurants, bars, gyms, beaches. Many different important facets of the economy are being shut down again. So I believe emergency measures are actually coming back once again. Okay. Now the article further goes into talking about a payroll tax holiday, which we'll go over that in another video. Okay, $4,000 tax credit for skills training. We'll also discuss that also in another video, because we're talking about today a back to work bonus 2020, right? And some of the ideas that have been actually presented to also as well, right? And as we mentioned earlier, Idaho is paying people $1,500 for people to go back to work. Okay, now here's another proposal also as well. And it proposes $1,200 for people to go back to work under a new Republican bill. And this was on Fox Business actually on June 2nd. This article was published. It says more than 40 million Americans have lost their job as a result of the coronavirus-induced economic shutdown. So actually every Thursday they come out with a report on how many people have filed for unemployment during that week. And it's typically over 1 million people every week consistently, okay? So there's been a total of over 50 million people that have filed for unemployment since the beginning of the pandemic. A top Republican introduced legislation this week that would offer a back-to-work bonus to unemployed Americans returning to their jobs after the lockdown. Under the bill proposed by Texas Representative Kevin Brady, top Republican on the House Ways and Means Committee, recipients of unemployment benefits who go back to their jobs will be able to receive a one-time lump payment of $1,200 or 2 weekly payments of $600. So it's kind of a good back-to-work bonus here. It means that if you're unemployed and you're receiving that extra $600 a week in unemployment benefits, that you would get actually 2 payments just for going back to work. Okay, either a one-time big payment of $1,200 or be split up into 2 different payments. Brady had said we need these workers. Unless we can reconnect these workers with these Main Street businesses soon, that business may no longer be there. This proposal is an important part in preventing a prolonged recession. Now, Brady's bill could receive the backing of Trump, the Trump administration, because last week, White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow, and his name is being brought up a lot because this guy is very popular because he has inside information on what Donald Trump wants and what the Trump administration wants to see in the next stimulus package bill. He endorsed a back-to-work bonus for unemployed Americans returning to their jobs. So Larry Kudlow endorsed this proposal, an alternative to the extra $600 a week in unemployment benefits that's supported by most Democrats. Kudlow has said during a Fox and Friends interview, "We've got to reward individuals for coming back to work. There will be some kind of reemployment benefit bonus. We're not going to go to the $600. That is a disincentive to work." So we've been hearing this phrase being uttered constantly from the White House, from Donald Trump, from Larry Kudlow, from Steve Mnuchin, from the entire Trump administration, and many Congress Republicans, a disincentive to work. Okay, so this is a Republican view. Basically, most of the Democrats are not really mentioning that as a disincentive to work phrase. More than 40 million Americans have lost their jobs as a result of the shutdown, a rate unseen since the Great Depression. The nation's unemployment rate surged to 14.7% in April, likely swelled to at least 20% in May. So that's very high. That's even larger than the Great Recession that we had of 2008. I believe unemployment rate was sitting at around 10%. House Democrats, meanwhile, passed a $3 trillion economic package in May that would expand boosted unemployment benefits through the end of January. Yes, that's true. It's called the HEROES Act, and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell had said that this bill, the HEROES Act, is dead on arrival. And Donald Trump also said that also as well, that it's dead on arrival. And he said the additional jobless benefits will not be included in the next package. Republicans has also voiced that concern that these sweetened benefits are actually discouraging some workers from returning to their jobs. 2/3 of workers on unemployment are earning more from the government aid than they did at their old job, according to a paper written by economists at University of Chicago's Becker Friedman Institute. Once the $600 a week expires at the end of July, the unemployment check, which varies from state to state, is going to be lowered. As the article saying, if you live in New York, you should be getting about $500 a week, or maybe around that, maybe a little less. If you live in other states, however, it'll be significantly less than that, too, also as well. The Federal Reserve's region by region roundup of anecdotal information, known as the Beige Book, released last week, found that business owners struggled to bring workers back as a result of the boosted benefits. Now, that's what I was talking about earlier today. It's been hard for employers, businesses, business owners to get these workers to come back because, like I said, they're making more money just staying at home on unemployment. And this is according to a separate Fed study. About 40% of Americans earning less than $40,000 a year lost their job back in March. So we've gotten a lot of information on these back to work bonus proposals too, also as well. And I found an article online that pretty much sums it up and kind of gives my point of view, right? Also as well. It's been written by Ross Merchant from the Santa Maria Times. And this one came out 10 hours ago. This one is fresh off the press. The U.S. economy is slowly getting its groove back as millions of businesses are beginning to call back their employees. But for millions of Americans who continue to receive unemployment benefits, it may actually pay more to stay away from work than get back to their job. Well, a lot of people are saying this, huh? This is a lot of people, a lot of Republicans, I should say, actually are also saying this too, also as well. Now, the House Democrats, they passed the HEROES Act. Yes, extends the $600 a week benefits. Okay. Congressional Budget Office estimates would result in unemployment benefits being higher than previous take-home pay for more than 80% of recipients. So that 20%, only 20% of people were actually making more money on their job than they are making now being on unemployment, if they are receiving the unemployment benefits under the CARES Act. Also as well, the CBO predicts that the extension of the extra $600 a week will probably reduce employment in the second half of 2020 and reduce employment in the calendar year 2021. Effects from being reduced incentives to work would be larger than the boost to employment from increased overall demand for goods and services. Now they're talking about the Brady Reopening America by Supporting Workers and Businesses Act. That's a bill. If you like to, you can Google that and it'll give you all of the details about Brady's proposal here, the $1,200 hiring bonus that we talked about earlier here in this video, and Rob Portman's proposal also of the $450 a week temporary bonus too also as well. Now, the article continues to say that either of these wage subsidy proposals is far better than simply extending unemployment benefits and merits the careful consideration of lawmakers in the White House. But it says these fixes, they fail to address the problem with the current unemployment benefit system. They're talking about the back to work bonus 2020, all these different back to work bonus proposals from Brady and also Senator Portman too also as well, where they're saying that it doesn't fix the problem with the unemployment system. Okay, plenty of businesses are still shuttered, hanging by a thread. Owners of businesses like restaurants, small retail stores can choose to retain their employees for the time being, or they can furlough them. The $600 unemployment benefit makes employers far more likely to proceed with furloughs, since that option would have taxpayers paying workers' salaries instead of the company footing the bill. The calculus, it doesn't change under Brady's or Portman's plans, because workers will still be better off temporarily taking unemployment and then getting the rehiring bonuses a few weeks later. So they say employees will be better off, getting the $600 unemployment benefits, and then later on, as their company calls them back to work, they can get the back to work bonus. Okay, either the $400, $450 a week that's proposed by Senator Portman, or the $1,200 payment proposed by Brady. So either way, employers could have a well-compensated, temporarily furloughed workforce without having to pay for the inconvenience. The article goes on to say that a far better and more sustainable solution, it would cap federal unemployment benefits to 100% of employees' previous wages. And this was proposed by Representatives Ken Buck, Republican from Colorado, and Ted Budd, the RNC. They're Getting Americans Back to Work Act. You can also look that up on Google if you're interested in finding out more about the details of that. It would make the temporary federal unemployment benefit less attractive than ordinary wages, but still sufficient to survive on. Now, you definitely want to finish watching this video all the way to the end, so that way you don't want to miss out on all the valuable information that I'm presenting in this video. Okay, and if you haven't already, definitely subscribe, hit the like button, leave me a comment, and let me know, what do you think about all these back to work bonus proposals here? Do you believe that they will help the economy? Will they help the American worker? Is it a good idea? Let me know what you think. Do you believe in extending the $600 a week unemployment bonus? Just leave me a comment down below. Economic evidence suggests that businesses are typically reluctant to cut wages out of concern for morale. Of course, because if you cut people's wages, people would have less incentive to go back to work. And it would dip into savings if need be to maintain current compensation levels. Now, the article talks about the Paycheck Protection Program and how it was designed to help maintain workers' pay by giving these businesses forgivable loans, right? Based on how much payroll they have. So if you're a business and you haven't already applied for the PPP loan, definitely check with the SBA website, because there is loans there that are forgivable. And if you haven't applied for the EIDL loan, the same applies there. Go to the SBA website. You can definitely get a $1,000 grant that you don't have to pay back, and very low payback rates on a loan too also as well. Now, the article says that only Buck and Budd's proposal will accomplish encouraging employers to lean on the PPP and ultimately save taxpayers dollars over the long term. And it ends here saying the economy will continue to limp along for some time, but lawmakers can at least make things easier for workers and struggling businesses to reform the broken unemployment insurance system. So there you have it. You know, that article, I kind of like the article because it kind of, you know, gives a good perspective, in my view. Anyway, I know there's many other perspectives, not only just mine, right? But the $600 a week, believe it or not, kind of ironically boosted the economy, right? Because it actually helped create jobs too also as well. Although a lot of people, Republicans, have said that it's a disincentive for people to go back to work. However, our country's GDP is reliant 70% on consumer spending. And as the article had said, that people kind of go into, you know, saving up their money, holding, constraining spending and not wanting to spend, okay, when they have a smaller income. But the extra $600 a week boost kind of gave them more incentives to go out and spend money. So $1 floating around in the economy kind of provides more jobs for many more people. So if you haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications. That way you never miss a single video as we make them. And you definitely don't want to miss out on our next videos. We're doing daily stimulus check update videos and daily stimulus package update videos. We're going to be here with you. I know the Senate is going on vacation now, and they won't be back until July 20th, but I will be here with you each and every single day, letting you know what's going on, when we'll be getting our stimulus checks, how much they're going to be, and what people are saying right now in Congress, Trump, and, you know, the House, the Senate, and what's happening, okay? So definitely you want to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell also as well. So from all of us here, and also one more thing, we do live streams every Wednesday night at 8:15 p.m. Central Time, so you definitely don't want to miss out. So from all of us here at the How to Get an 800 Credit Score family, stay safe, be blessed, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. My name is Lyndon Baptiste, and on this channel we talk about ways to increase your credit score, build credit, and get approved for the lowest payments on mortgages and lines of credit, travel the world for free, earn extra money with cash back. And if that interests you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll never miss a single video as we make them.